He's got no choice. Win or lose, he's stuck on the Bison.
Caught up, bro. We'll see if it's worth it, though. It's one of those matchups where, even Shine himself was like, it just, whoever gets going is probably going to win. It feels like this cycle. Get the momentum.
No.
He's already put in burnout, brother.
Yeah, he's in burnout. This is going to be tough. Somebody call ACOM. My man is locked up.
Won't let me out.
It's done. This momentum is just too much.
It's jail, no bail right now. You're not leaving the corner.
He's caught. He's caught. My man is cooked. Hey, I might have stepped on something. The lights are out. The lights are out on the commentary desk. I repeat, the lights are out both on the stage and the commentary desk. My man Psycho is beating him up.
Going crazy. No follow here from Jin at all. Oh, bro, don't get put up in the corner. We don't see this movie. Please change the channel. We'll get to something else, like a romance novel, maybe anything else. Get the bomb, okay? Waits a little bit. Plus Rain City.
Oh, my God. That is wild. I don't know what just happened, but I'll tell you what, we are definitely lights out at the commentary desk.
It might be lights out here. Psycho if he keeps it on.
It's maximum gamer hours where we're like point blank with the screen. The lights are off. Oh my God. Level 3 again. Here we go. Get on the Psycho train, baby.
Hand him the ox, just send him up to God. Almost burn out. Psycho with the dash up. Force all parry. The throw right after, though. Psycho to stand medium, kick the teleport. They're going to put it out. It doesn't. No. That don't work. The super. Post up burnout after this. Psycho's still in, though.
Man.
That medium would have reached. That was a counter it, I feel.
It's tough. Another throw coming. The Psycho Crusher. Burnout City. He doesn't chip enough. Jin tried to go for the chip out. Psycho survived.
Oh, look at him. He said, I might go Psycho.
Hello. You know what day of the week it is, baby. It's Thursday. We out here talking this tech. It's your boy Duran, aka Dr. Digital. Of course, like usual, I got my main man with me, Chris, aka True Tech.
What up?
Tonight is going to be a little bit different than how we normally run stuff. I'm gonna shut the hell up. I'm gonna let Chris do his thing because I know he's very excited for tonight.
Let's go. I'm excited, and we did this with Jack. And so he's like, we've been playing this for a minute. It's like, okay, we got the jury player on, but we got to have my man, my coach, best Kim in the world, the new U.S. Street Fighter League champion. We got Sean Trilliums, a.k.a. Psycho in the house. What's up, Psycho? Thanks for joining us, bro.
Yeah, what an introduction. I need that every from now on.
Yeah, I'm so hyped,
If you're
man.
feeling better when you come to join us, we fail.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, I'm super excited for this one. There are a lot of questions we going through, but normally we would start, how'd you get into fighting games? But we know what the people want. We know what the people are here for. How's it feel, fresh off Street Fighter League, taking it, throwing some salt on the Dominican flag, showing the Bisons that Kimberly wins the matchup? How, like this is a lot. People know you've always kind of been on that cusp since. Honestly, you came on the scene kind of early, Street Fighter 4, but it was kind of always but we saw Orlando, so we saw you guys, Street Fighter 5, DreamHack Atlanta, and now Street Fighter 6, Street Fighter League US. How you feeling, dog?
Oh man, it feels crazy, bro. I don't think it fully set in yet. I think it'll set in when I'm in Japan and shit. But yeah, bro, it's crazy, man. I was definitely one of the hardest events I ever competed in because it's a regular season and then you got to go back home and then come back to playoffs. And the playoffs, we were supposed to play playoffs, but the fires in LA postponed it. So, that added another element to it that because at that time, Punk, I don't know if you remember, but the day we were supposed to fly out, which by the way, it got canceled 2 days before we were supposed to fly out. We found out that they're postponing it, but yeah. Punk was winning every single event. Dude was coming second every single online event. Mm-hmm. So we were a little nervous when it got postponed because like Punk was saying, so he's like, what if I suck like next month, like, because that's how it goes. Those are the bends, one day like he's gonna win every tournament, and then the next month he might be getting second to do like a lot more than usual. So, but we're lucky we stayed composed and we got the fucking dub.
Bro, yeah, that was funny seeing that delay because I was like, all of a sudden I'm like, Psycho ain't streaming, but of course, I'll be stalking that CFN. So I was like, I see what he's doing. I see them sets.
Yeah. Nah, I was probably playing way more than I ever have, honestly. But the nature of it, like I couldn't stream. Like I don't know if y'all noticed, but like the Birds have not been streaming at all. Like those are guys who are they make a living off streaming. So if they're not streaming their sets, that means like it's serious. So I knew that, and then they're probably not playing for Capcom. They're probably not shooting for Capcom Cup, but I want to make sure that I'm taking it serious, and guys are gonna have to search a little harder if they want to watch me play.
Yeah, I mean, we saw what happened immediately after you guys won, and was it Gachi Kun who's immediately like, I guess I gotta learn that Kimberly matchup.
Yeah, you saw that tweet. Yeah. So we're gonna have to stay. To stay low key for a bit.
Yeah, that next day, people were in the Kim course like, yo, Gachi Kun is playing. He got a line of Kims, and they're looking to play him to stay ready. It's like, oh yeah, this like I was like, but the thing is, we got JB and Dual Kevin. They don't have a cycle over there.
Exactly. Stylistically, I don't like. Of course, he's gonna have some general matchup knowledge, but when you're in it, it's a lot different when you play me and guys like Shine and Punk as well. I feel like we all have a lot of similarities in the neutral in which we play Kim.
Yeah, so now we rewind. We will get into our usual question here, and that's how did you get into competing with fighting games?
Oh man, so it goes back a while ago. So like I moved to Florida in 2012, but before that I'm from New York originally. I'm from Brooklyn, and that's actually where I started like competing. Like originally I played Guitar Hero and I played Call of Duty. I actually won like a local tournament for Guitar Hero when I was like, I think 11 years old or 12 years old. And I never really liked Street Fighter at all, but similar to y'all, one of my best friends from school named Santiago, he was saying like, yo, you should pull up to, because we went to the same church as well, and they were hosting a Street Fighter 4 tournament, and he was like, oh, there's this dude named there Kareem, and like he's like the best, like nobody could touch him and shit, and he was like a Ryu player, and like we went to the tournament and stuff, and like it was like on laggy TVs and shit, and like and he dominated everybody, and like I thought it was cool, but like I never really like, I kind of like brushed it off after that, and then like a month later he was like, yo, all right, pull up to one more little tournament with me. It's in Chinatown. And I was like, all right, bet. Like, we're not doing nothing. And I usually stayed over his house after, and we would just play games the whole night and shit after anyway. So I was like, all right, bet. I'll pull up with you. So we go to this little game shop, and like we go through the game shop, and then there's a back venue. And that was where the original Guard Crush was, if y'all know about that. This was like, this was in a game store, and it was right before Henry Sen bought Next Level. So like literally like a month later, Henry Sen bought Next Level, and that's where Big 2 and Next Level started being at. But before that, this is where Guard Crush was at. And it was in this tiny ass game store, but if you walk in the back, it was like a big ass, like, place with like a bunch of setups and stuff. So like I walked in there, and like this was like, I didn't care about fighting games. Like I was just here for my mans. But like Diminion was there, Sanford was there, this French Fei Long player was there, who was like one of the best Fei Longs in Europe. He was randomly there. And yeah, like when I left there, like I don't know, it was just, I had some like crazy like motivation to just play. And it was a game store, so there's a $50 fight stick there, and it was a Tekken fight stick with like AA batteries and that shit, and I bought it. And then I just started playing from that day on. And like I had like a natural attraction to Balrog. Like I loved his combos and his execution. So yeah, like I just started grinding online from then. And
I feel like everybody had that like shitty fight stick to start with.
Yeah. That's a fact.
Oh yeah.
I think that's cool though, because you said, bro, you took it back. You said Guitar Hero, and I was like,
bro.
yo, bro, I ain't heard Guitar Hero in years. I bet most people watching this don't even know what the hell Guitar Hero is.
Yeah, I know, right? For real.
Every now and again, I go on eBay and I be like, "How much are Guitar Hero guitars?" And they still expensive, bro. They still expensive.
They
Because
making them
sometimes,
no more.
yeah, sometimes I'm like, you know what? I would like to just. Guitar Hero put me on a bunch of music that I didn't know about.
Hey, you better hit a pawn shop, bro.
I'm saying for real.
But yeah, oh man, yeah, that's still for real. Because like, and it's, I'm not gonna lie, it pissed me off a little bit that you started so late and you're so good. And like I said, because I knew your name in Street Fighter 4, so that to be like but let's go with that because like. You're always kind of like I said, since you've been around, you kind of been linked with like world class players. Like Street Fighter 4, I knew like when you do, we would watch Orlando tournaments, we would know you. Now you kind of link with Punk because you guys play a lot. You're over at his place a lot, so that goes into like I'll have people play me and get upset and be like, yo, I gotta stop. I'm not gonna name. I don't remember dude's name, but we played one time on lunch, and he was like, "Okay, that's enough Street Fighter 6 for me for a while. I'm gonna uninstall the game." I was like, So like you're like you are like getting off of work. I'm gonna go to Punk's place. We gonna play these sets. I'm gonna deal with this. We gonna walk back and forth looking for whiff punishes. How do you like stick with the mentality? Like how do you improve when you're playing these players who I'm sure at the beginning, way above you, and now you'll watch you and be like, Cammy's cheap ass. If he ain't play no Cammy, he'd be like to get there. Like what are you thinking when you're playing these type of players that you're getting like clearly it's working, but like how do you get past that frustration? Because I think a lot of people need like help on getting past that hump. They plateau. It's not just a plateau in the game, but like mentality wise, they're like, I just can't get over these people. You are playing with literally the best right now. How does that affect you, and how do you get over that type of frustration? If you have that frustration, you might just be built different.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, I feel like I'm in a pretty unique position because, like how the world looks at these guys, like, I look at them like, these are my goofball friends, like, a lot, like, I could tell y'all the lore, like, okay, so how I said how I was going to Guard Crush, well, like, probably, like, a year later. Okay, so I got probably like from being a D rank, no player points, to probably an A rank in maybe like a year. And Xbox Live back then, bro, it was 10 times easier to make friends and like, find people. So that's how I met Smug. Smug lived in Queens, I lived in Brooklyn. And like when y'all finally get close enough, y'all talking every day, you like, yo, bro, what's your number, bro? Let's link up. Well, me and Smug, I got Smug to come out his house and go to the first Big Two. It was like Big Two. I forget which one, but we both got spanked by Zeus. But like, we've been playing me, Punk, Booker, who's Tampa Bison, Do, CJ. Like we've been all playing each other since like 2011. So like, I've been playing these guys since we were all at the same level, and I've got to watch them like ascend, and it's like it's so motivating. So it's very easy to like work a full day a full day's worth of work and then come over and and put in the hours, because it's like first of all, we lived together for 2 years, so I was doing that shit every day regardless, like no choice. They wouldn't let me go to sleep. Punk and Smug wouldn't let me go to sleep if we wouldn't run like 2 first to 10s minimum a day. So naturally when you're around that, you're just gonna get like, it's almost impossible to be good unless you just don't want it, which how could you not when you seeing motherfuckers come home with championships left and right? Like, it's motivating.
Yeah, I agree. I've always had the mindset of like iron sharpens iron. Mm-hmm. So if you're playing with killers, you're naturally gonna like get better. 100%. So when I moved to Texas, because like Chris and I both lived in Colorado, and when I was living there, we played a lot. So it was like, I'd see them all the time, and we'd run shit. I remember running first to 100s and things like that, type thing. And then like I moved to Texas like 8 years ago. I didn't have anybody out here. So I wasn't playing anything fighting games. I took like 5 years off, and then 6 dropped, and it was like, all right, I'm interested again. And then we started like, our community, and now it's like I play way more now than I was back then. So I can't even imagine just being in a house full of killers, because like, we have Chris and then one of our other buddies, John Shogun. he's godlike too. But that's just 2 people. So I can't even imagine when like your whole crew is just stacked.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. It's a really unique position that I'm blessed to be.
It's funny because I do have that same kind of thing with our friend Shogun, and I still look at like he's still kind of like the level I judge myself against, and like lately I've been like it's been like more I've been winning more sets against him, and I'm still like even that I'm still like okay, but he got the medal last weekend and I choked it up. Right. So yeah, it's cool I can beat it, but I didn't get that. My image ain't in there. I ain't got that Kimberly on the top 8 picture, so I still I still like every time I'm like I'm glad it feels good to be at the level where like because I won 1 tournament in Street Fighter, all of Street Fighter 4. I won 1 tournament, and it wasn't even like a big one. It was like at a convention. But John was there, and John was winning every tournament, and I had to beat him to win it. So, I still, in my head, I can remember the picture. I can remember the pose, everything, and I was so hyped that I was like, sir, I got me a win. I got me a Street Fighter 4 win, and he was there. I don't care if no one else wasn't there. He was there, and he was winning at the time. He was winning everything. So I was like, I don't care what happened.
I know this wasn't one of the questions, but like you brought it up, and I'd love to hear more. Where you're like, you say you're playing at this house and you're playing these killers. Like, what is like the conversation like when you're playing these people at like a higher level? Is it like, do they tell you like, oh, you need to work on your whiff punishing, or like, is it like, I feel like because there's almost like levels to improving.
I just
so
like bitch ass nigga get good
combos. Yeah, like it's like that's what I want to know. It's like, so what was that conversation like? Where it was like, were they looking at you and going, oh, you needed to improve upon this certain area, or was it just kind of naturally you figured it out, or what's it look like? Because we have that question so often in our community is like, how do I get better? And I just feel like everybody's levels is different. You may not even be to this what you're trying to do. Like, I need you to work on this thing way over here, and you're trying to do this thing that's way over here, kind of thing.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, well, I can tell y'all how it goes. Like, usually it'll proceed with some shit talk. Like, I'll just say something stupid to amp Punk up. Like, yo, I'm going to wash you if we play a set today. And then he'll laugh like, no, you're not. And then we'll go in the stream room and then we'll play. But, the tech and the habit, like, talk, it doesn't come till after. Like, it's just straight quiet and like shit talk. But other than that, it's not really like, and there's been times where we've got mad at each other. Like, I've been, like, and it's most of the time me, because I'm always getting mopped by Punk, and then I'll just fucking like where it's just like it gets to a point where it's like 10-0 sometimes in Street Fighter 5, like, and he just like he'll be giggling and I'll see it and just I'll unplug and just go to my room, and then an hour later we'll pull up downstairs and everything will be cool, and then that's when we'll talk. Like, yeah, he'll be like, yo, you gotta stop fucking like teching, or like or a certain thing that I'm not exploiting the matchup. But yeah, it usually everything has to stem from some ego. Like, you got to really want to get better and like really want to beat people, and it's always good to like bounce it off somebody, like, because you're not going to be able to see what you're doing in the match. So having that outside view is just so good.
Yeah, that's fire. Like, and Punk still has that old school mindset too. So his trash talking is like top tier. So I can't even imagine the heat that y'all are throwing at each other.
Yeah, it's insane, bro. Like, there's a few times where it's gotten very serious. Like, I beat Punk one time in a set in Marvel 3, and like we didn't talk to each other for like the whole rest of the day. Like, it was bad. But that is, and then he buys me dinner, later that night. So. That's our relationship.
Even trade. The bro apology.
Yeah,
hey, we moving on.
Yeah, you hungry? Yeah, it's come up. You hungry?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
I feel like guys just have that natural ability in general. Because like I remember getting into like some of the craziest arguments with my best friend, and then like the next day I'm like, yo, what up?
Yeah, that's it. It's the power of the homies. That's how you do it. You're getting the worst argument ever, and then it didn't happen. A couple hours later.
Yeah, bro, I ain't got the energy to hold that grudge. Like, I got too much grown man shit happening in my life to sit here and be mad at you over something, dog. Like, it ain't worth it, bro.
Yeah, if it ain't like it's it's like I categorize it like either it's serious enough that we gotta talk about it, or it ain't. In which case, let that shit rock. And if we talk about it and then we still got it, then maybe. But like otherwise, I'm like, It ain't that important, bro. I can't honestly. I don't think me and Duran have ever gotten like a serious argument. I know I'm very flaky, so I'm sure he's been upset at me about it. But overall, we haven't had no crazy arguments. But I've known this man for 15, 16 years now.
That's
like
fire, bro. That's fire.
I may not look it. I am also black, so I understand the CP time.
Hey, me too.
how
Me
that
too.
goes.
Me too. I get Spanish and Arabian.
oh yeah,
all the
and you're
time.
Florida now, bro.
Yeah,
Like, yo, you're Puerto Rican, and I'm like, nah, but sure, whatever, dog.
Every time, bro. Every time.
But yeah, that's interesting because we will I'll again now we let the conversation flow, so we get the questions as we get to them. Like I said, I think I remember our first session together. I was like one little skeptical about doing a full straight on coaching thing, but two, I have definitely honestly a lot of top players are not good at teaching others and pointing out things. They just I've met multiple people that just do I just do this. I here so I would ask you, how did you, is that something that you just learned from developing yourself, or are you naturally, gifted in that way? How did you get to be such a good coach? At this point, when we first did our first session, I was I never even noticed that. And then I've seen other people since where they'll be like, hey, did you get any value out of that? I'm like, yes, bro, I was plateauing, 2 phases in a row. I could not hit 1900. And at the end of the last phase, this is the first time I ever hit 2K. And it's literally because our coaching sessions and if nothing else, I can always be revert to that. And I've sent on other stuff that you told me to other people, and they'll come to me and be like, "Oh my god, I'm getting momentum now. I'm hitting whatever MR goal they got." How do you, in your opinion, how did you develop that to be able to teach people? Because like I said, a lot of top players, they're good, but they cannot teach.
Block better.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Well, and I love that you said that. But it goes back to those sessions with Punk and Smug. When you're playing the most elite guys, bro, we're sitting, all we do all day is talk about the game. I've never been to Punk's house and walked in his room and Street Fighter hasn't been on in the living room or his room. He keeps it on 24 hours a day. It's you ever seen MTV Cribs when they go in their house and they got the MTV Cribs on in the background? Yeah, that's him all day with a stream. So it's naturally you're just gonna be so privy to every situation in the game, and from doing that, I've been teaching since Street Fighter towards kind of the end of Street Fighter 5. So I've kind of I feel like I've gotten better in it. I know I can get even better at it, but I think just the thing that just separates me from I feel a lot of other top guys on Metafy and stuff is just that no, not to have an ego or anything, but I'm probably top 300 in the world. I'm master every single season. A lot of these guys they're, no disrespect to them, I respect their hustle, but they're on there charging outrageous prices, and it's bro, you're 2000 MR, 1900 MR, there's and I believe that, some guys can teach a 2K MR can teach a plat guy, but it's you're not, I feel an elite player is going to be able to teach it in a very easy way. And I feel a lot of top guys overcomplicate stuff because they don't really know what they're talking about. And, it's kind of you gotta you have to be able to pinpoint habits. I feel that's where everything starts from, and a lot of guys aren't really good at that. They'll or they maybe they are good at that, but they're horrible at explaining it. Motherfucker, you can get a lesson and a dude will tell you, "Oh, you tech too much. Stop teching." Okay, well, how do you stop teching? No. How do I replace options? You can't just say these simple things, or you can't, you have to be able to lay out a foundation and then guide them through that blueprint. And, I feel I found a way to do that. I know you remember how I always play the first, I'll play usually two first to fives or two first to threes. And right there alone, I'm going to pick, I have 5 things I use to just exploit my student and see where his bad habits are as fast as possible. And that's usually where we'll get in. to the nitty gritty as quickly as possible. So like I can kill their bad habits. And that's why, you're able to see like those quick MR spikes. Cause like, as long as you follow like 2 pieces of advice that I give you, it's going to be like huge pieces. Like I'm not going to try to like, we're not going to spend an hour learning combos. We're going to spend an hour learning micro situations, how to stop jabbing, specific exploitations and matchups, a lot of different shit like that like, you have to put in insane amounts of hours against like elite guys to even like understand that perspective.
Yeah, no, that's fire. Like I can't tell you how many sets we played and I'm playing a better player and then they're like, stop doing that. I'm like, stop doing what, bro? We just ran 50 fucking matches. Like,
exactly.
You need to break some stuff down for me. Cause like you say that and I'm like, what's that? Like, kind of thing. So that's huge to hear. And I'm gonna be honest, bro. I was mad as hell when Chris did the coaching with you. He came to me after and he was like, hey, bro, you want to see how to whiff punish stuff? He's like, just stand there. I was like, what the fuck do you mean just stand there? And he was like, just stand there. And he showed me and I was like, bro, what the fuck? Like, for years it's been like, oh, you do block strings, pushes you out of range, you back up, you're trying to whiff punish. And he was like, just stand there. And it was like,
bro, like that was so mind blowing to me when he showed me that, and I immediately did it. And like the next set, I still remember the clip. I was so hyped that I missed the combo. I didn't even do the combo. I was just so hyped. I just remember staying medium kick. I was like, I saw that button. I was like, I was so hyped. I missed the Vagabond. I was just, but like
because it's so simple. But like
so
when you're learning, you don't see that. You're like, I'm getting washed. Why am I not getting better? What's going on? And it's easy to self-doubt, especially in fighting games. Because even as like the greatest players in the world hit plateaus and they got to figure out how to push through that kind of thing. But when you're
100%.
playing against those great players, it's easier to push through that plateau kind of thing. But when you're doing this by yourself, it is incredibly easy just to be like,
so
dog, I'm trash. I'm done with this shit. Yeah. And then, you come from a top player and they're just like, just stand there. And you're like, bro.
Yeah, it's true. It sounds like some Matrix. It sounds like just like.
It does. It really does, man. Yeah, bro.
Like, do it.
I try to tell all my students, like, when you ever hear, like, if you ever hear, like, young dudes when they're talking about, like, LeBron James and they talk about, like, how good he is at slowing the game down. Like that shit is like universal in like sports. And I feel like it's universal in Street Fighter. Like maybe not so much in like other like team bait. I mean, it is like, it's universal to everything. Like the most elite guys are going to be able to like control the chaos. And like, it's a very like, I feel like it's ubiquitous, like between like esports and real sports. The art of like being able to slow the game down and then you kind of like control the guy without, doing anything because he just starts overextending and, it's really sick.
Yeah.
I think basketball is a great analogy too. Cause like compared to like football or like baseball or whatever, like you have the ball in your hands, you can slow it down. You're literally dictating the pace and like fighting games, the same thing where it's like, and I tell people that all the time where I'm like, I understand you're frustrated and you're trying to figure out what to improve upon. And it's like, what did you do wrong? Like, you have control just as much as they do kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure. And you got to be open to it for sure. Because I remember, I tell a story sometimes, but I'll tell you because obviously you're friends with them. I was streaming Street Fighter 5 heavy at the time. I was like freshly single. I would come home from work, jump on the game and stream all night. And I played Karen. And at the time I was Diamond rank, and it was before they added like Warlord and all the other stuff. So it was like that's when Diamond was something. Like, and then some random nigga comes in my stream talking about, yo, you should do this, you should do this. I'm like, who the hell is Punk the God? I never heard of this nigga. Telling me, you see I'm Diamond in here. Why you coming here? And then he won NEC that year. And I was like, so you got to be open to it too. I'm nice to everybody in my stream now because you never know who coming in there and might be hitting you with some actual game. And I was arrogant, like, bro, you see this Diamond? I never heard of you. I never heard of you. You're trying to give me advice, and you see,
that's hilarious.
And now it's kind of cool. Like, because we're from Colorado, so we had this guy that was like super into streaming. His name was A4 Andre, and I remember Punk was sponsored by Andre. We were like,
yeah.
Shout out to Dre.
He used to run all those A4 tourneys, right?
Yeah.
He used to run online tourneys. Yeah, I remember that.
yep, he's a Denver dude. So like, I remember Punk got sponsored by him. He was like, that was like his first real sponsor kind of thing. And I was like, and this dude just started winning everything. And we are like, yo, what the hell? Like, and you know, our homie sponsoring him. And it's just like, it's super like cool to see that kind of thing. And like, this dude just takes off. And
For real,
I'll never forget where like, I don't remember what tournament it was, but he showed up and like he played Justin Wong, and Justin Wong was playing Karen too, and Punk beat him. Everybody was like,
that was the Red Bull Finals, the first one. Yeah, that's his breakout tourney. That shit was crazy.
Crazy, because you just don't see that very often in the FGC. Like, you might see it in like later rounds, but to somebody like beat a legend like that, like early stage type shit, is like, whoa, you know.
We all felt the exact. Yeah, you explained it is how the whole world felt.
Yeah, bro, it was insane.
That was when it was something like, bro. I remember it was like, it was one of those moments like when Martin beat Daigo. That was a moment. When Punk beat Justin, it was a moment. Like when we first saw Smug do that, like it was a like we remember, it was a moment. And like it don't happen as much. Like we get some of the people who are like, oh, you know, they're good because they're young. We get that, but we don't get like too many moments like that anymore. So it's like if someone beats Punk, if it's like if like
that's gonna be the next one.
Like it's gotta be like it's gotta be like some like I don't even know. Like it'd have to be like some dude from like the Oceania or area beats Punk in the groups, and we're like, who is this? Like that would be that's the only way. It's like it's so tough now because we know who everybody is. We know when people are good. If Boost beats Punk, we know who like he ain't nobody no more. So it's tougher. Yeah, it's tougher to get those moments, but we remember the moments, bro.
Yeah, I know we want to get into some more Kimberly specific stuff, but I do have like one question that's just like,
we get into whatever.
So you're in this esports league and you're training for this. Do you feel like you trained differently for this than you would like a normal tournament? Because you're going in and you kind of know what's happening, who you're playing. Is it just like a different mindset that you're going in? Are you specifically training differently, and so on and so forth?
Yeah, nah, it's the same. Like in terms of hours, it's the same hours, but it's way more targeted matchups. Like we get in a Discord call and Chris CCH gets on the Microsoft Excel sheet and we start talking, you know, who's going to play who. You know, the reason why Zen got dominated is because I was practicing for Zen and DCQ. That's it. Those are my only two matches. Nobody else was I going to have to play for. Maybe Louis Man, but no one else. So, you know, when you're able to, you know, really narrow down your focus, it's a lot easier to win those, you know, big matchups when they come. So no, the training was, you know, always the same in terms of hours. And I don't play a lot of tourneys as it is because of work. I'm just usually tired when I get home and decide to, you know, just play longer sets because I feel like that's more beneficial to me. But yeah, nah, training's usually always the same because I don't want to like, you know, I like the consistency of my training regimen, and you know I get into my head a lot, so I feel like if I change something, it could fuck up like my, you know, mojo.
You just have like set hours where you're like, I'm gonna get home, I'm gonna train for 2 hours, then I'm gonna run some sets with the homies, or is it like, what does that breakdown look like?
Yeah, nah, it's random. I'll be honest. I don't even play every day, but I never skip more than 2 days. So like, if I take a day off, I'll 100% play the next day. And it's never in the morning. It's usually like always at night because that's when like, you know, that's when tourneys are happening anyway. So I try to like, you know, just simulate me getting in the, you know, just wanting to play at the times of a tourney. Because, you know, if you play in the morning and then you don't play at night, you know, when a tourney comes around, it's kind of harder to, you know, simulate.
So I want y'all to remember this. All these people that are like, I'm putting in this time. My man said that they are running Excel documents. Excel is ass. I hate that program. So if you're running Excel documents, that shows your grind, dog. Like real talk. So when y'all are like, man, I'm putting in this effort and I'm not getting better, just remember these people are using Excel docs.
And to be honest, I had an Excel doc for my MR. I would record my MR every day, and I would do notes of each session, be like, okay, here's what I'm doing well, here's what I'm not doing well. I look at my strat. Like I stole that from Actual Dive Phone do that. And I was like, you know what? Before I got the program that I'd be harping about, so that I can look at that. But even then, I'm not putting my daily notes. But I'll be like, okay, here's what I did. Oh, I lost MR, come up. Here's the legend cutoff. That's back when it was attainable. Before it started hitting, everyone was like, you gotta be like 2200 at least. Now it's like, we'll get there when we get there. But I also never see like, we won't get there. We'll get there when we get there, but we gonna get there. Like, I've never like, I can't do it. Like,
oh, for sure.
it's like all
That's
it takes
tough,
is one.
bro.
Like, all it takes is one. You beat one good player and you know it's possible. So I know you out there and you're upset. Have you ever you stolen 14 MR? If you can do it once, you can do it. You can do it again. You can be consistent with it.
100%.
I'm just saying, that's love, bro. I work in a corporate environment. If I walk up to somebody and their screen has Excel on, I'm out, bro.
Hey, bro,
So,
yeah, bro. Hey, I'm right
love.
there with you, bro. Yo, thank God for Chris CCA, bro. I'm a Microsoft Word dude. That's about as good as my expertise goes. So he was on the Excel the whole time.
All right, I'll let y'all nerd out on Kim shit. I just had these questions were like burning my skull. So I was like, I at least want to like bring it up, kind of thing.
No,
So.
this is what we're here for. We want this. We want people, because I feel like especially like our whole community of Moon Marauders, we have like, I would say there's like a good like handful of players who are like on a higher level, and then we got a lot of guys who are like platinum and stuff like that. And of course, you know, the whole thing is everyone talks about is master. All we talk about is MR and legend and everything. When I'm in there and I'm looking at using the CFN bot and I'm looking at the legend cutoff to see how far away it is and stuff like that, and I'm looking at my MR and I'm like, oh man, I came down today or whatever. And they're like, yo, I'm still platinum. And I don't think I'll ever in the game's a couple years out, and I don't feel like I'm ever gonna get there. And I think they need to hear like those things. Like I'll review matches and I'll tell them like you told me, replace the habit. Like, that is so simple, but it's much better than saying you shouldn't jab here. Like
100%.
and saying, okay, I think I was actually one of the matches for Duran, he was doing like delay jab. I was like, you shouldn't delay jab here. You instead like don't still just like, hey, don't jab. Like, you gotta give them something, and that was so good. You'd be like, just replace the habit. So now this is all good stuff.
Yeah.
But yes, we are gonna talk about some Kim. So let's get in there. The next question is, especially like, of course I knew because I'm a Kimberly player and I'm a nerd, and I've done this with every character I have played where I nerd out about my characters. All right. So
those, bro.
I nerd about my character, so I will find all the strong players who play my character. And of course, like I said, like you were at the time you were streaming, and I don't think people were paying attention to like how well you were doing. And so like when you did so well in the playoff, and we like, of course you're Punk's friend, but we also know Punk wants to win, so he ain't picking you just because he's your friend. Like, you got to show you're nice. And when we saw, like, I've seen the placements, and we know you, again, we all working people, so we know you can't enter all the time. I haven't entered a TNS yet, and that's because it starts literally as I sign out of work. Bro. So,
Bro,
like,
and it ends when you gotta at 2 a.m.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You're gonna get top 8. You're gonna be up for a while, and you're East Coast. So it's gonna be, you're there. You're literally like you're in Florida. You're gonna be up. So, and then you gotta work in the morning, which
exactly.
I think that'll be our little bonus thing we'll talk about, because people making it feel like you can't have a job and be this strong, but clearly you're showing them wrong. But my question is, for someone like you had the placements, you had like sets and everything like that, but what made you feel like you could stick it out with Kim, especially when we had a lot of dooming in season 1? Like, honestly, anytime people were like, Kim can't do it, I'd point to you and I'd point to Shine and be like, if they can, it can be done. So there's no excuses. But how did you, as someone who's a higher level player, like stick it out and be like, you know what, she's missing too many things, and just stop and keep going until now she's a real character? She's mid-tier, y'all. I don't want to hear no bullshit. She's mid-tier. Fuck out of here.
Hell yeah. Well, hey, I've been a character loyalist in Street Fighter 4. Like, I played Balrog in Street Fighter 4 the whole entire game. Played Nakali Street Fighter 5 whole entire game. So, like, once my brother told me, like, he's the one who made me pick Kimberly, because when the game first came out, we downloaded it, and I was like, who you gonna play? I'll play whoever you play. and he picked Kim. So I naturally just started learning their character. I never played a ninja before. I never played Guy. I played Zeku for fun, but never played like, you know, a conventional ninja before. So, yeah.
That's dope. Like you literally just like that. That's like I play Kim. That was it. Like it wasn't like, hey, I feel like she can do it.
That's
like
it.
no, I play Kim.
Yeah, no, I mean a good incentive that I always say to people to stick it out with a low tier, bro, is that, bro, it may not happen this season, it may not happen next season, it might not happen the season after, but bro, they're gonna make your character fucking ridiculous, bro. I promise. If you just stick it out, or unless like you're just playing some obscure like dummy character, they're gonna make your character ridiculous. Like in this new world of fighting games where like, you know, everything needs to be broken, like, you know, even if you're playing a low tier now, you can make that shit work. Like this isn't playing Dan in Street Fighter 4 anymore. So yeah, I mean, character loyalty, bro. I feel like it's a dead art, but I think like, you know, you
don't think the world
like,
should have more Sanford Kellys?
top tier? Yeah, no, I hate that. I hate that mentality. You know, personally, I felt like, bro. Remember back in the day in Street Fighter 4 when motherfuckers like character loyals had aura. Like, bro, when Pepe Day pulled up at you were fucking scared.
Yes,
like,
you were scared.
You were terrified.
You don't
when
know
Bon
everything he knows.
Pulled up. Exactly, bro.
Yep.
And that's why I feel like if you're a character loyalist, bro, you're gonna have the edge because you're gonna know every single matchup in the game, and you know you're gonna know something that you're with your character that your opponent isn't going to know. It's up to you to execute that and make sure you highlight that in the flow of the match. But like, you're really like low tier list or not. If you're playing world class neutral, you're going to have the edge.
Bro, so I was a Faye and Vega player in 4, and I remember like Zeus and like, bro, he'd play Vega and you just watch and you're like, yo, this character's ass, and then he'd just be like in ranges and out poking you, and you're just like, it's so frustrating. And then like it was great to watch as a Vega player because I'm like, he's not the best, but he's still running people, and you're like, I don't know what to tell you, dog.
Bro, like I see, yo, bro. I was able to beat Reketsu. Like I could beat nasty fucking Vegas, bro. Zeus made me look like I don't even understand how to play the game. Like, and that was a dude, like, you talking about that do nothing shit? That's a motherfucker that'll sit there and do nothing and dominate you, like have you looking straight stupid. He'll tech every
East
throw.
Coast tradition, though.
We
turtle. The East Coast, they got some turtles, bro.
Oh yeah, that's so funny to be like the like how that changed, because I mean in general I'll say though, like the whole idea, like I guess it's changed because now it's more like East Coast known for neutral, because you have like you got Kami, you got Punk, you got Do. We'll throw back to CJ Truth back out there, like it's definitely no, but yeah, for real, man, bro. Boy, I've never been so bored out of my mind watching some East Coast CBS 2 and watching them stare each other down and sit there and count the seconds and look at it, be like, yeah, they really just looked at each other for 30 seconds and went, and no one pressed a button, and I counted. I was looking at the timer like, oh my god, I know they're good. I know Steve H is good, but I'm bored. Oh my god, Steve H is about to put me to sleep.
I know Steve H, bro. I used to play Steve H all the time. His Ryu is nasty,
bro. Oh.
She got her 4. She got her 5.
There we go. Another story. I met Steve H at my first Evo, and literally he introduced himself as me. Yo, I'm Steve H. I'm gonna beat Justin Wong. That's how he introduced himself to me. I didn't know who he was at all. It was just literally, it was somehow a bunch of black Third Strike players were all together at here, because I remember we all took a picture together. I don't remember none of them niggas except for Steve H. in the front with his giant ass stick that he had. And he said, yo, I'm like, yeah, I'm Steve H. I'm going to beat Justin Wong. And I was like, ha! And go if y'all don't know who Steve H is, y'all go find Steve H versus Justin Wong. Go find, I think it was like, I might have been NEC, I don't remember, but or might have been like a VG boot camp, but I remember he beat that nigga, like I think he like broke a table. He popped off so hard. He was like
Hell
just feet up in the air. He wasn't just jumping, like feet knees to his chest jumping, like yes,
OG pop offs.
Yes, for sure. Go peep that. If you you're gonna be fast forwarding a lot because it's gonna be a lot of it's gonna be long. It's gonna be like 45-minute video for like a first to 4 out of 7.
CBS 2?
Yeah, it might have been like 4 out of 7 grand finals too back in the day.
Golly.
We're gonna stick with this, Kimberly. I want to ask you, what do you feel, especially now we got a bunch of buffs, so I know we're seeing more Kimberlys. We're seeing people that ran away and then came back and stuff like that. What do you feel like a lot of Kimberlys are missing in their game that, like, clearly it's working for you? Like I said, I can name you, I can name Shine, I can name, Fierce. You know what? I'll even throw Zycles a bone and say we can name Zycles. We got people that can do well, but overall, Kimberly is still not a consistent character. So what do you feel like Kimberlys are missing?
Yeah, I mean, they're all missing, the neutral aspect, which, is going to derive always from patience. So, like, Kimberly players are probably the least patient, like, players. And, like, it sucks because it's bread. Like, if you just wait, you'll get a free hit from them overextending. So, like, Kimberly players love to create hits. They don't really like waiting for the hit. And I think that's a big thing that, they need to get over if they really want to be good. Because, at the higher level, like, the higher level you go, the more guys are just going to wait for you to overextend. That's where, in boxing, in UFC, and any type of, fighting, it's where everything goes bad when the guy gets countered. So, like, if you're always doing something first, you're always going to be in a position to be countered. And I feel like Kimberly players are always going first.
I mean, I can't front. I have to remind myself. I literally think, okay, I try to be like, partition my brain to be like, on Oki, think like me, because I do have, like, I'll be like, okay, I lab this, I got the tech, etc. And then on my neutral, okay, I gotta be like Shine, I gotta be like Psycho, I gotta be like Punk, and then like actually in neutral I'll be like, I gotta be like Psycho, and then when approaching I'll be like Punk, because Punk when he plays Kimberly be like, I'm just getting that ass, and then like some matches I'm like, I let them do too much. I let them get the first step, and I'm like, I should have taken that, but I'm like, I literally in my head I'm like, okay, neutral, Psycho. And I'm like, okay, all right.
Yeah.
Oh, yep, okay. There's that whiff, and now we got that fierce punch. But I literally in my head, I'm like, I gotta say, okay, it's neutral, Psycho. All right, now we got the knockdown. Now you can go crazy. Now you can hear. Now you can spam and woo. And like now you can get in that Shine mode where you're killing their drive bar, and that's been my thing lately. Killing that drive bar, getting the roundhouse, make them respect it. And then they're gonna get scared. Then they're gonna burn themselves out DPing because they're scared, and now they gotta and it helps so much to be like. So yes, I agree with that 100%. It's gonna be people, and again. He's proof. Like someone was in Shine's chat the other day, and like, why do you need proof? You don't need proof, but you have empirical evidence. I feel like you're looking at the man, you look at how he plays, you see in the whiff punishes. It's possible you can do it. We all can do it. We just it's in there. But
yeah, use that walk speed.
Let's talk about it. The next question is, how do you navigate bad matchups? Me personally, I can't stand no Cammy. I can't stand no Akuma. Honestly, those are like the real matches I really hate. Outside of Sim, I just hate fighting Sim just because he's boring. Like, I know the matchup's not bad. I literally, I don't think I know the matchup well, and I still got like a 60% win rate versus Zal Sim. So I don't think it's, I just hate fighting him. But Cammy, Akuma, I mean, Ken is Ken, so what are you going to do about that? But, like, how do you feel, like, what are you looking at? When you try to, like, navigate a bad matchup? As a character loyalist, what are you looking for?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the one thing that, you're going to have to do to like overcome bad matchups is you're going to have to play that bad matchup in volume. So like you're going to need to find like 2 different dudes, preferably like different styles. But, this game is very simple. So this game forces you kind of have the universal style from everybody else, but you got to play long sets with these guys, and you need to learn how the character wins. So like every character has different win conditions. Jury is going to have her fireball drive rush to strike throw, guess shimmy. Lily's gonna have her stocks. If you can always manage to not have her at a stock, she's garbage. So you need to develop strategy within matchups. You can't play, the same way in every matchup. Like, maybe if you're Ken, you can, but even they're doing like matchup specific shit. You got to find, the nuances within your character that can exploit another character. Like Jury can be exploited. If once you get Jury in the corner and you put that heavy bomb down, you never have to respect her EXDP. So like, because if she does that EXDP, she's going to land right on that bomb and you hit her for a huge combo. But like, you have to know information like that. You have to know, against Jury, you're not really going to throw her because she's always going to have that jump medium punch to dive kick to get out. She's a character that you're going to frame trap and shimmy a lot more. So, and that can only be learned through like, failing a lot, getting fucked up by the character. And that's why long sets are going to help you like learn those weird micro situations within like the whole match.
Yeah. And I know Chris did like a breakdown about it because he was talking about like, how do you fight Geef in Street Fighter 6? And it's just so weird to play him differently in this game than like traditional Geef. Because it's like, to hear someone be like, getting his ass, it's like weird because he doesn't have a wake up or things like that. And like, from Street Fighter 4 days, you'd play somebody that isn't even good and they're turning that butter, bro, and you getting grabbed. Just frames, and it's just like, Exactly. So to hear him be like, this is how I fight Geef, and the video consists of I'm gonna stay in his ass until he gets, super kind of thing. And then you're like, oh, okay. So I actually ended up playing, a guy in a tournament. We're doing like a round robin thing, and he played Geef, and I came back to win 5-4. And the entire time I'm playing, like, I'm thinking of Chris being like, stay in his ass. Like, don't respect him. He's just a different character now versus what it was back then. And it used to be like, I was the opposite. I was like, I don't want nothing to do with this dude. You stay over there.
Yeah, it used to be like, honestly, like, because I watch with that same thing, and a lot of people, I personally call Geef versus Kim chaotic even. And it is because if you play it like you normally, I honestly say, if you play it the psycho way where you just out neutral them, you're gonna put yourself in some guessing situations, and that's hard. Where it's at.
I played the wrong way,
and that'll be in like so. Like I think, honestly, the strong Kims hate the Geef matchup because they're neutral so good, and I'm like, nah, you got to make them guess, and then by the time they have, like, my whole goal, rush them down, win the first round. If I win the first round, I feel like the match should be mine, because by the time, and then round two, all I care about, make him spin meter, because he's not gonna he can only spend a level 2 or a level 3. He's not gonna get it back in round 3, and then like all he can do is guess it. He's gonna drive reversal, and he's gonna guess parry and everything like that, and he's gonna get burnt out, and then he's gonna like. And that's how I think about the match, and that's the reason why I asked that too, because I feel like I have like a solid game plan for Geef, and in some of these other matches I don't think I do. I think I just have the wait and see, and so that's like, I loved your answer, because you're like, okay, I know against Jury she has this, therefore she here, and I feel like I like now, like, little, just that simple thing makes me think, okay, Cammy, what am I doing against Cammy? That here, well, one thing I need to do is I need to stop standing up against Hooligan, but I can't help it. I see her go in the sky and I stand up. And then others like, okay, well, I shouldn't be letting her dive kick on wake up then, because I'm going for throws, and that, like, literally, like I said, simple stuff like that, like, makes me now I'm thinking about how this matchup is, and so that's so good. But look at that, look at God, look at time, and we're coming to our final question. Of course. You out of here. By the time this is on the YouTubes, I believe you'll be out of here in a couple days, heading to the Far East, and you said the streams is on deck. I better not, because I literally have you and Punk set so that it records, so I don't miss, because y'all be playing. Because I don't want to wait for y'all, because I don't want to. Y'all both be playing music. I'm the same way, so I hate, but I don't want to be waiting on nobody to publish the VOD. I'm like, nah, if you're streaming, I'm gonna download that right now. So how are you feeling about the Street Fighter League World Finals, going to Japan? Have you been to Japan before?
Nah, I haven't.
Yeah,
First
so
time,
your first
first time.
time and going out
Oof.
there, people, like I said, people already worried about you. Like, okay, I guess I got to learn this matchup. And
Yeah.
so, how are you feeling about that? How are you feeling about who you might have to play? Just overall, like, I know it's a big question. Break it down however you feel.
Yeah, for sure. I wish I could tell y'all who my targeted matchups were, but y'all definitely
Yeah,
see
it'll
y'all.
be out
tell
before
y'all,
then. Yeah. So,
I'll tell. Okay.
Off cam.
Off cam. Yeah. But I mean, I'm feeling real confident. I mean, bro, I got the best player in the world on my team, bro. Like, there's not much. Like, you should never be nervous when you're playing a team tournament and one of your fucking teammates is Punk. Just beat somebody and you'll probably win the whole thing. All you got to do is win like one match. So like I feel confident. Obviously, the two teams are insane, the EU team and the Japan team. But I think with having Kimberlys on the team, it's very we always got that edge because it's like you're not going to get this training anywhere else in the world.
yeah.
Like there's the 3 Kimberlys that play like this, they all live in one region. So good luck. Like you can play as many Japanese Kims as you want. They're all they do is drive rush. So like have fun.
Like,
you're just going to be playing the drive rush strike simulator. But when I'm standing full screen and you get whiff punish with my stand medium kick, it's gonna feel real different. So I hope they're ready for it.
I love it. Yes, because even the people like. I can think of a couple EU, but again, they're trying to play like you. They're trying to play like Shine. Like, they're the imitations. Like, can the real thing hold up? And
Exactly.
even in Japan, they don't got an imitation, bro. Like, I guess Matsu plays a little bit of neutral, and Nardakun plays a little bit of, but they don't. They're not playing like you. Like they play enough neutral to be like, okay, it's time to drive rush.
Exactly.
So like I'm very excited. I'm hoping we might get. I know we've been joking about it, but I'm hoping we might see a little triple Kimberly out there.
Hey, shit, they'll count it out.
Oh, you heard that, y'all. He said it could be a possibility.
The US players know the Kimberly matchup way better than the internationals do. So don't count it out. Y'all saw Punk's tweet to Gachi-kun. He did say three. You ready for 3 Kims? Question mark.
Yeah, like is he ready? So what outside of Street Fighter League, of course, what are you looking forward to? Of course, not of course we talk Street Fighter 2, but I mean, let's be honest. We already know you coming back at like 2300. So, like outside of that, like, are you looking forward to outside of just Street Fighter League? Anyone that you trying to make sure you get a set with? Anyone like that, or is it just you trying to make sure you do the touristy stuff? Like, what are you feeling about? Like, what are you excited for in Japan?
I'm gonna so Punk's gonna take his laptop and he's gonna be streaming out there. Whenever he stops playing ranked, I'm taking right over, and then I'll be playing. I'll be pretty much playing ranked right there. So I definitely want to try to play as many Japanese players as I can, and just like the Asians in general, because I'm pretty sure you can match up with like Chinese players as well. So that I want to go to
get that legend ring, bro.
Yeah. Facts.
Man, get
Like I
that
said,
level up.
I already know he's coming back. He gonna be like 2400.
I'm gonna try.
Yeah, like I'm not, you and like that was so funny at the end of the last phase. You and Shine just tagging each other. It's like me personally, I wouldn't take that. I'd boot up.
You started that. I ended it.
No, that was so good. I was like, me personally, I'd boot up.
Have you been in Japan before, Tech?
No. I've been I've had a little chance, but every time it's like I didn't follow through. And I feel that. I've had friends that gone. We had a couple of friends actually that just came back earlier. They was out there for a good little minute. Going on
nice.
So it's one of those. It's one of those dreams, one of those FGC dreams since I was young, and going to Evo for the first time and trying to learn some conversational Japanese so I can talk to MOV and get some tips. Like, and we're over here like MOV's in our hotel room and no one can talk to him. He's just over here playing sex.
Oh yeah, that's crazy.
But that's what's really cool to see. Like you hear about like FGC because like. At the end of the day, that's what the C is, like community. So you're playing with these dudes and you're like, yo, I don't even speak the same language as this dude.
Right.
But you're still like sitting there just playing games with him. And it's so cool to like see that or hear that kind of thing. Cause it's like, what other things really do that in the world? Like, cause you go watch a movie and it's either gotta have subtitles or it's in the different language or whatever. And you just like, you play a video game and it's just like, yo, you're just godlike. I'm here running the sets, with him kind of thing. So it's cool to see that, kind of, and that's why we always ask the question, like, how did you get into fighting games? Because like I love to see the connection where it's like, how did we get from like, bro, I'd have never thought we'd had Psycho on the podcast. So it's like, how do we end up to this point? And it's like, man, it'd be dope to go to a tournament and then we're there and we get to see you in person. And it's like, yo, let's get a pick together or whatever. That's what like this kind of stuff is all about. So it is really just cool. I love hearing like how people connect and get around. So like, I mean, I'm sure you're hyped too. You're going to Japan.
Yeah, I'm hyped for you.
There, and
bro,
I know
I've been saying for a minute I'm hyped. I legit was like, because I was like I said, I felt like people slept on Kimberly so hard, and I was literally, I said it jokingly, but I was literally like, yo, if we do a GoFundMe, I would be happy to donate the Sin Cycle to Japan because I think they don't know, and they need to know.
Bro, I don't think anybody at the beginning of the season, yes, you guys had a really good team, but it's like, I don't think anybody like, yo, a two Kim team kind of thing. Like,
no, that shit was counted out. It was counted out.
You know who didn't count? You know who?
That guy right there.
This guy. I was ready the whole time, bro, because I was already like I said, I've been watching. I knew how good you were, and just because you weren't entering tournaments, that mean I knew how good you were. I knew how good Chris CCH was because I had been watching him, and I don't play Ken or Ed, and I was a fan of watching him play in tournaments and stuff like that. So I knew how good he was, and I was excited about that. And of course, I mean, I'm in Shine stream all the time, so I knew how good Shine is. And so I was like, honestly, yes, I know people think.
Oh, you're the one that puts the $20 on us for the parlay because and you fucking rob Vegas. Everyone else
very excited. I was very excited. Like I was very excited for that team, and of course Ed was really strong at the time. So I was like, yo, and not only that, matchup wise, I was like, yo, they know Ed is really popular right now. They're gonna find a bunch of Eds. They got Shine, they got Chris CCH, they got Punk. Punk is Punk, but also he plays. He got that Akuma, who's also really strong as well. Got one CEO with it, and then it's like you play you literally I've watched you and interact with each other all the time, and it's like I've seen you play the matchup. I've seen you play Lex. I was actually very surprised they did not have you fight Lex because I was I was surprised they didn't have you pick because I've seen what you do to Lex. So I was like I've seen what I was very the matchup spread. If they just looked at the characters, but I was like, I've seen what they do against these characters. You got Bison, and Bison can kill you in one hit. But do you know that Kimberly wins that matchup, low-key? I don't think you know Kimberly. I do.
No.
Yeah.
Don't.
So, and now, I don't think it's now, I know he only got a 500 damage nerf, but I still, with his, with the slide buff, I feel like it's, like I said, so I was hyped. I knew.
I bet they know now.
They know now, bro.
Yeah, they know now. Gotcha, Kuma was tweeting about it. Gotcha, Kuma was tweeting about that.
Yeah.
Sir.
But all right. So we are officially at our hour. So we're going to end it here. I want to thank our special guest, number one Kimberly in the world, Psycho, for joining for us all the way. Stayed up. My man, like I said, he's a working man. He stayed up late to be with us. He's on the East Coast. We're in the Midwest here, so he stayed up late to come chat with us. So I very much appreciate. I want to remember this.
My man said he works a 9 to 5 and he's still busting ass. So and
I feel like that's gonna.
I don't know what to tell you, bro.
I feel. Hold on to that because I think that's gonna be our little bonus segment because I think I do want to talk about that a little bit because it feels like people feel like if you ain't 16 years old or you ain't doing this full time that you can't do this. So I think that'll be our little bonus segment. So I'm gonna let Duran take us out as per usual.
Oh man, I've never taken us out.
Yeah,
if you made it to the end of the video, I'm
right.
so happy to be here. Dead ass, this whole conversation was fire. So to hear Psycho's kind of inside perspective and kind of see where he came from, I hope you made it through the whole thing because if you didn't, you missed out on some great ass conversation for real.
Hell yeah.
Well, you stuck at 1500. You stuck at 1550 because you didn't watch the whole video. That's your ass. That's your fault. I'm gonna tell you. You asked me, how can I get better? I'm gonna tell you, go watch this pod.
Damn right.
Real talk. And if you haven't joined the community, feel free to. It's moonmarauders.com.
Follow that.
Marauders, because Marauders is a very difficult word to spell. I won't lie. I didn't know how to spell the shit when we first started it. So if you haven't joined, please do so. We do community nights every Thursday in Hub 13. And then we just started a new King of the Cab thing where you basically show up, play on the cabinets. It's the first Thursday of every month. And whoever gets the most wins a gift card.
Oh, shit.
It's free.
Go support y'all.
Yeah, come through. And I'm not. I don't. It's not fair. Like for the community, I'm not playing. I just be streaming. I watch. So don't worry. Unless you win it too much.
Shows up one night.
I mean, if Psycho shows up, then I'm gonna, then I'm gonna be in queue. I'm gonna be in queue, and I hate the mirror, but I'm gonna be in queue. I hate the mirror, but I need to play it, so I'm gonna be in queue, and I'm gonna make sure I'm gonna clip everything that I'm gonna steal. So.
So, of course, we appreciate Psycho joining us because this was an amazing conversation. So I'll let Chris send us off like usual.
As always, guys, I once again appreciate Psycho for coming through. And you, like I said, it will be community night. This will be a Thursday when this first launches, so come through. I may or may not be there. Sometimes I just be hanging with the wife. It is what it is. But you'll catch me. You'll see me on streaming. Oh, by the way, I guess I should mention here, I've been streaming on Fridays. That's going to be a consistent thing, except for probably this coming Friday because I got a little procedure. Snip, snip. Getting rid of those. No kids. But as always, what about peace? Peace.